A reading from the book of the prophet Zephaniah. Seek the Lord, all you humble of the earth, who have observed his law. Seek justice, seek humility. Perhaps you may be sheltered on the day of the Lord's anger. But I will leave as a remnant in your midst, a people humble and lowly, who shall take refuge in the name of the Lord, the remnant in Israel. They shall do no wrong, speak no lies, nor shall there be found in their mouths a deceitful tongue. They shall pasture and couch their flocks, with none to disturb them. The word of the Lord.
A reading from the first letter of St. Paul to the Corinthians. Consider your own calling, brothers and sisters. Not many of you were wise by human standards. Not many were powerful. Not many were of noble birth. Rather, God chose the foolish of the world to shame the wise. And God chose the weak of the world to shame the strong. And God chose the lowly and despised of the world who count for nothing, to reduce to nothing those who were something, so that no human might boast before God. It is due to him that you are in Christ Jesus, who became for us wisdom from God, as well as righteousness, sanctification, and redemption, so that as it is written, whoever boasts should boast in the Lord. The word of the Lord.
The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew.
Glory to you, Lord.
When Jesus saw the crowds, he went up the mountain, and after he had sat down, his disciples came to him. He began to teach them, saying, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the land. Blessed are they who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be satisfied. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Blessed are the clean of heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Blessed are they who are persecuted for the sake of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when they insult you and persecute you, and utter every kind of evil against you falsely because of me. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward will be great in heaven." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
In today's world, so many times people try to force you to choose between two things that are not contradictory. You cannot choose to go both right and left. That you cannot do. It contradicts itself. You can't go north and south at the same time. It contradicts itself. But in a lot of ways, our world tries to say you have to make choices when in fact you're supposed to choose both. Today, or just yesterday, our nation, we had the March for Life. People from all around the country came to proclaim that they are pro-life. And I got a small snippet from Annie, our youth minister, who was up there, and one of the people in our group was stopped by somebody saying, "Now, are you just against abortion, or do you respect life in people who are refugees? Do you respect life in people who are criminals? Do you respect life in all its forms?" And I don't know which member of our group it was, but she said, "We're here to proclaim we believe every life has value, including all of those." The person said, then I'm with you. It was just a bystander who saw the march, who one of the people from our parish, got to have a small chance to witness to. When it comes to the Beatitudes, I find that same kind of mentality hits people. Blessed are the poor in spirit. Blessed are they who mourn. Blessed are the meek. Blessed are they who hunger and thirst for righteousness. Blessed are the merciful. Blessed are the clean of heart. Blessed are the peacemakers. And blessed are they who are persecuted for the sake of righteousness. These Beatitudes, a lot of people like, well, what's my beatitude? What's the beatitude that I really resonate with? And I think that is an important question. I think it is important to ask, which of the Beatitudes most grabs a hold of your heart? That is a good and wonderful thing. However, if you think you can get away with just one beatitude, I've got bad news for you. To really live as a Christian is to embrace all of the Beatitudes. It's important to know, all right, where's my starting point? Where am I already good at? Blessed are the poor in spirit. Am I the one who really knows what it's like to be poor in spirit? Which is different from just not having things, but I'm actually detached from things. I don't have this large desire for things. I've known people who are wealthy who really could care less if they lost it all. And I've known people who didn't have much who you could tell they were caught up in everything that they had. And I'm not talking about just in getting necessities. Blessed are the poor in spirit. Are you truly detached from the things of this earth so that you can be attached to God? Blessed are they who mourn. In a lot of ways, we're called to be joyful as Christians. Pope Francis wrote about the joy of the gospel. But we're also supposed to recognize that there is sadness in this world. If you've not been hurt, then you've probably never loved. Blessed are they who mourn, because it means they have loved and loved deeply. And we're called to set ourselves up for that. We're called to set ourselves up for mourning. How? By loving deeply. Blessed are the meek. Blessed are they who hunger and thirst for righteousness. What does it mean to you to hunger and thirst for righteousness? What would look different in your life if you really tried to do that? You'll notice I skipped over the meek part. I just don't like that one. You know where I need to work. I like the sound of my own voice too much. Blessed are the merciful. Are you really merciful? Who needs forgiveness from you? And actually, to be merciful means to be filled with mercy. There's an old Latin phrase that I love, nemo dat quod non habet. No one gives that which he doesn't have. Have I gone and sought forgiveness from God or from my neighbor, from my family, from my friends? Have I sought forgiveness so I know what it's like to give it to another? Have I been filled with mercy so that I have mercy to give to others? Clean of heart. A lot of people like to see, blessed are the clean of heart, as if it is something that's inherent to that person. Just a tip. Nobody's kitchen is inherently clean. No one's kitchen is inherently clean. The only way a kitchen stays clean is by constantly cleaning it, constantly working at it. Who are those who are clean of heart? Sometimes people are like, oh, those are those people that they never had an issue with any impurity in their life, any impurity in their heart or mind. No. It's like your kitchen. They cleaned it up when they were done. Some of us let the sink pile up before we clean. Some people are good about cleaning it every single time. Don't ask me which one I am. The clean of heart is something each one of us is called to be. Blessed are the peacemakers. What does it mean to bring peace? Oh, if you ever meet these Franciscan friars or these Benedictine monks or these religious sisters, when you go and you see them all together, they just have this peaceful spirit. They didn't get there just because they were born that way. They worked at it. And each one of us is called to do that. Blessed are they who are persecuted for the sake of righteousness. I promise you, if you work on all these other beatitudes, somebody will make fun of you. Somebody will discourage you. I will make an even stronger promise. If you really work on all of these beatitudes, I promise you somebody within our own church will make fun of you or discourage you. I will promise you that. Why? Because this church is a church of sinners. And thank God, because if it didn't have place for sinners, I wouldn't have a spot. We're called not to make this a false choice. Don't choose to be pro-life in just one way. Don't choose just one beatitude. Choose it all. God is calling on each one of us to grow closer to Him. It can seem intimidating to think of how am I going to grow in all these things. It seems too much, too demanding. Here's the simple way to do it. 1. That one that resonated with your heart the most, make sure this week you do something about that. Do something with that. If you are a peacemaker, let it be that you look for how can I bring peace into the world of my family, my friends, my neighbors, my coworkers. So, and the one that your heart is most drawn to, do something with it. And 2, whichever one you found yourself least drawn to, do something about that. If you work on the one that you're strongest with and the one that you're weakest with, it will draw you into all the others. Don't bite off more than you can chew, but take a little bite of each of those and really aim at being a man, a woman of the Beatitude, because we're called to be Christian, which means we're called to be like Christ.